well too. We should be going live in just a second. What's going on for all my people over there on YouTube? We back over here on the Twitter streets or X or whatever you want to call this crap hole. Once again, the news told her we're live again on both X and YouTube. Tonight we're going to be discussing Shannon Sharpe being fired from ESPN, the Cincinnati Brawl that took place as well too. And on X, a lot of our people, they've been promoting an African business boycott, so we're going to discuss that tonight as well too. That's been a very, very hot topic I see here on these X streets as well too. So good to have everybody in there. For all my people coming in on YouTube, guys, make sure when you come in, you go ahead, you like, share, subscribe to the channel as well too. Make sure you go ahead and retweet this out if you're over here on X as well too. And if you're on YouTube, go ahead, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you subscribe, make sure you click the notification bells as well too. Make sure you visit newstotal.com to stay up to date on breaking Black news and Black America as well too. We're retooling the site, so definitely make sure you guys swing by and check out the site as well too. Not finished updating it, but we will be shortly. So shout out to everybody. What's up? I see Ray up in here as well too. So Ray, what's going on, man? What's up with you tonight?
What's going on, News? Can you hear me? I'm sorry, I'm driving right now. I'm on my way to the crib.
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. What's going on?
Yeah, man. So first of all, man, I'm sorry to hear about that kidney stone, man. We're getting older, man. You gotta, drink more water, do whatever you need to do, man, to make sure things will come back. Cause I heard they're pretty painful.
Yeah, man. That was my first bout with the kidney stone, man. I had a space schedule for last Monday, and I'm like, I can't do this today. So, but yeah, man, I'm feeling a lot better, man. And I know you done moved already, right, Ray?
Yeah, I'm out here in California, man. Well, gas is damn near $5 a gallon, man. It's crazy out here.
No, sir. That is expensive.
Damn, Ray. Shit, man. You know you was out there in California?
Yeah, trust me. I didn't come out here because it wasn't my choice. Trust me. But it is what it is. Yeah, I just want to tell you, man.
You sound like you in the Matrix, Ray. Ray, you in the Matrix. Can you hear me, Ray? You in the
driving? I might be, in and out of things.
Yeah, because you
Hear me?
I'm hearing you, but you keep going in the Matrix. You kind of robotical. How you sounding? We'll get back to you though, Ray. Just hang. I know you say you're driving, so just chill up in the space, and we'll get back to you. But it's good to hear from you as always. Shout out to Nightfall over there on YouTube, our mod over there, one of our mods over there holding it down for us as well too. So shout out to Nightfall, man. Shout out to all the people. Hey Ray, go ahead and mute your mic because I know you was in the Matrix. Shout out, we got DJ up in here as well too, Professor Original. Melissa's down there. What's up, MF Kush? I see you up in the spot as well too. And man, like I said, we got to get it in about this this whole African boycott business thing, and we got to get it in about the Cincinnati Brawl thing. And we got to touch up on the Shannon Sharpe thing as well too, man. I got to touch up on it. We talked about that. We had a space about it. We knew we talked about when you start hitting these settlements like that, these multi-million-dollar settlements, man, it's going to come back and bite you. And there's really no amount of money. We don't really know exactly how much. We hear as much as $23 million or $50 million was settled. No one really knows because I had articles saying different numbers as well myself. I saw US Today talking about $50 million. So nobody know exactly how much was settled, but it was in the millions, put it that way. It was in the millions. I want to go ahead real quick and I'm going to touch up on this. Got to touch up on this Cincinnati Brawl thing. I want to hear people as well talking about the African, actual African boycott as well too. I want to hear because a lot of people online saying, "Hey man, what's up with just boycotting African stuff?" Like people saying, trying to say that they're hearing xenophobia and this and that or whatever, saying that Africans are being targeted. Or what about the Asians? What about the Latinos? What about all these other groups? Why are only Africans being targeted? So we gotta we gotta touch up on that as well too, man. I want to hear what people got to say about that. Shout out to everybody up in the space. DJ, what's going on? Can you hear me?
Yeah, mic check 1 2 1 2 News Total. Let's get it in, man. Because I've been boycotting that type of game. So let's go.
All right. So let me go ahead and this is we gotta touch up on the Cincinnati thing. Atlanta Black Star put out a great article. It says, the title does not depict the entire incident. Cincinnati police chief pushes back at the viral brawl video becomes MAGA racial flashpoint online who accused black mob of attacking white people. I know y'all been seeing all of the different tweets and posts online, man, and people are, it's getting nasty on here as always. The Cincinnati police chief says viral videos of downtown brawl involving several people have been taken out of context on social media where they spread like wildfire among right-wing accounts and become a flashpoint for racial rhetoric. The fight that took place in the early morning hours of July 26, shortly after the Cincinnati Reds baseball game and a music festival that drew more than 150,000 people to downtown area. Police were called to the scene at 3:06 a.m. and arrived at 3:12 a.m. to find the violence had ended and most of the participants had cleared out of the area. The Cincinnati Enquirer reported the now viral cell phone footage that captured the fight showed several people repeatedly punching, kicking, and stomping a man in the moments before the violence erupted. One clip shows a man slapping another man who was black in the face and setting off the altercation in which some people began swarming the man who threw the first blow. In another video, a woman is seen trying to intervene and break up the fight, but she's knocked unconscious to the ground and blood is spilling from her mouth. Other videos show the altercation initially taking place between two men when bystanders intervened to separate them. One man is seen slapping the other, setting off the brawl. It's unclear what parties involved were arguing about before the altercation escalated to a full-blown fight. However, right-wing groups and elected officials have shared and politicized clips and images of the fight, attributing the violence to race, according to reports. In the videos, the man landing the first blow is white, and the person he struck is black. And most of the people involved in the brawl are also black. The video first made waves on Signal 99 Facebook page, an anonymous account that focuses on law enforcement in Cincinnati. A couple of hours later, Cincinnati mayoral candidate Corey Bowman, who is also Vice President J.D. Vance's half-brother, shared the video and blamed the incompetence in the city's leadership for the increase in violence in the city. Soon after, several right-wing social media pages and politicians started labeling the black individuals as a mob of thugs who beat up a white couple. In wokeness, I know y'all see that account all the time. A right-wing ex-account shared the video with the caption, "A white couple was brutally beaten at a jazz festival by a black teen mob in Cincinnati yesterday." Libs of TikTok, another conservative ex-account, also wrote, "Horrific. White couple brutally beaten by a black mob in Cincinnati, with the woman being slammed to the concrete ground." Charlie Kirk, a conservative activist and founder of the Turning Point USA, wrote to his 5 million followers, "Arrest all the thugs who attacked whites for federal hate crimes." His post included a video clip of Vice President Vance's remarks on the fight, which he said he saw a mob of lawless thugs beating up on an innocent person. Even tech magnate Elon Musk, the owner of X, posted the video on his profile. Although he did not mention race, he wrote that guy almost killed this woman, aggravated assault. Cincinnati Police Chief Teresa Teget weighed in on the social media rhetoric, stating that the narratives have surfaced lack context and have made it more complicated for the department to investigate the matter. Social media, the post we've seen, does not depict the entire incident. That is one version of what occurred, she said, adding that the commentaries that have emerged are misrepresentations of the circumstances. What that does, that causes us some difficulty in thoroughly investigating the activity and enforcing the law, because what happens, that social media posts and your coverage of it distorts the content of what actually happened and makes our job more difficult. She continued, "I think the irresponsibility with social media is that it just shows one side of the equation, quite frankly, without context, without factual context, and then people run with it, and then it grows legs and becomes something bigger than what we have, and we try to manage it as part of the investigation." Police have charged 5 people so far and anticipate further arrests. The identities of the individuals taken into custody have not yet been released. She also said that roughly 100 people witnessed the fight. Only one person called the police. She said the fight was a sudden dispute between individuals following a verbal altercation, but did not say what exactly caused the altercation. The Cincinnati mayor also clarified that the fight wasn't connected to any of the events happening in the downtown area over the weekend. Let me go ahead and get to the I got you. Let me go ahead and get to the Shannon Sharpe thing real quick too. Also from Atlanta, Black Star Curation Partner says he got big headed. Shannon.
Hold on real quick. ahead, Turtle. Drop me down real quick. I want to get in a phone call. I can barely hear it. Go ahead, though.
All right. Give me 1 second. Also, it says Atlanta Black Star article says he got big-headed. Shannon Sharpe fired weeks after his accuser walked away with the payout big enough to retire. The timing has everyone asking questions. Shannon Sharpe was a rising force in sports media, but his ascent came to a sudden halt this week after ESPN announced it was parting ways with the Pro Football Hall of Famer. The network's decision followed a settlement of $50 million lawsuit over allegations of forceful and intimate act, sparking widespread conversation online. Now some fans are wondering if this fall for grace might have been avoided had Sharpe heeded the early warnings from comedians Cat Williams and Monique about the dangers tied to his dating life. The 57-year-old media personality had joined ESPN's First Take in fall 2023 after departing FS1's Undisputed earlier that year. However, his trajectory took a devastating turn when civil allegations surfaced in April filed by a woman identified as Jane Doe in Nevada State Court, accusing him of multiple offenses, including violence and battery, allegedly committed between the late 2024 and early 2025. The plaintiff, later identified as Gabrielle Zaninga, also goes by Carly Online, claims she met Sharpe when she was between 19 and 22 years old at a LA gym. According to her, what began as a rocky, consensual relationship allegedly evolved into something sinister, with her asserting that Sharpe demanded complete control over her time and body. As news of his termination broke, social media erupted with commentary from those who seemingly predicted the outcome. When the New York Post posted the story, one reader responded, "I can see Cat Williams now just twiddling his fingers together as if he saw it all coming and was forewarning Sharpe that he didn't listen." Honestly, though, this girl is ridiculous. That girl knew exactly what she was doing by acting as if she wanted the dirtiest of the dirt. And then when it got a little intense, she said it was too much. The warning stemmed from the memorable appearances by comedians Cat Williams and Monique on Sharpe's Club Shay Shay podcast. During Williams' January 2024 interview, the comedian cautioned about the dangers of interracial relationships, particularly after witnessing actor Jonathan Majors' career destruction. I didn't want to get with a white woman because I was scared she might have me running down the street like Jonathan, Williams warned. While Sharpe dismissed the concern with, "Come on, Cat," Williams pressed further, "You could be King the Conqueror and they could take your rabbit down in 2 weekends, and that's the truth of the matter. So I would say stay away from that. You see Jonathan Majors, what he went through." Weeks later, Monique delivered the most direct advice. Her February 2024 podcast appearance addressing Sharpe's dating habits with the frankness of a concerned relative. "You better take your old ass and get somebody that love you. Let me tell you what you need, Shannon. You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl," she said. Shannon Sharpe ain't listened to Monique's advice, and it cost him his ESPN job. When Sharpe protested with "I do," Monique cut him off. "This is your auntie talking to you. Take your old ass and get you an old B so she can go out there and she can love you. You're trying to hang out with these young bees, and you can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do it." Social media users didn't miss a connection between the warnings and the current events. When the Neighborhood Talk posted coverage of the story, its readers weighed in with pointed observations. Cat and Monique was literally on his show trying to warn him. "It's always a warning before destruction," always said one person. The sentiment was further echoed when one person tweeted, "Shannon Sharpe ain't listened to Monique's advice and it cost him his ESPN job." A third said she retired and he got fired, referring to the claims for Zaninga stepped away from a popular subscription-based platform known for exclusive, often sultry content after selling with Sharpe for an undisclosed amount. After reaching a settlement with Shannon Sharpe, the woman, the OnlyFans model who accused him of sexual assault, has announced her retirement from the platform. All right, what's up? Okay, DJ, let me get you back up here. I see Nightfall's over here in the spot as well too. Like he left YouTube to come over here and hang out with us for a little bit. So shout out to Nightfall. Ray, go ahead. You got it. Shout out to Untlie. I see you down there as well, Untlie.
I just wanted to see, can you hear me better now?
Yes, sir. I can hear you much better.
Yeah, this whole Shannon Sharpe thing, man, I kind of wish you could help the brother, man, but when you have two people that warn you when there's something happen, you know what they say about a fool is money. They gonna soon part ways. So it's really hard for me to feel bad for him. I mean, the man's older than I am, and he's still getting tricked by 18-year-old OnlyFans models. He can't get someone his own age to to settle down with it at over 50 years old. I mean, come on, man. As far as the Cincinnati Brawl thing, I definitely wanted to touch on that too, because like Malcolm said, man, the media, it definitely has the ability to make the innocent seem guilty and the guilty seem innocent, because what I saw in the video is that white person slapped a black man, I want to say, and that's how the fight started. Like, that's how the whole thing started. But they didn't see it that way. They painted it as, oh, we're the victims because of how these black people reacted, as if we're supposed to get hit, get punched, get spit on, and we're just supposed to just stand in there, just be cool with it. So, yeah, I just wanted to touch on that. And last thing, what I was trying to talk about, two things. For those of you that don't know, from my fellas, there's a football game on tonight. Don't forget about that. So I want to make sure I put that in the air. And lastly, the African boycott. It's sad because I have some African people that I'm cool with. My wife, sometimes she even goes there and, puts money in their pockets by, going to them for their services. But then you have those off-code Africans that are just nasty to us and call us names and things like that. And it's sad that those good people are going to get the backlash. But it kind of is what it is at this point. I mean, they don't support any of our businesses, yet we go and put money in their pockets. And I'll land there.
Yes, sir. Appreciate that, Ray. Professor, go ahead. You got it. And the African boycott, I just heard about this. I saw it coming like the last week or so. I saw everybody on X talking about it or whatever. So I definitely want to get people's take on that as well tonight as well, too, about the African boycott. Anybody that wants to speak about that, let me know how you guys feel about that. Like I said, I know there've been TikTok videos, and I know people were saying that it was an Asian cat on TikTok posting something saying that basically it made no sense for black people, black Americans to discriminate against Africans and stuff like that by boycotting their businesses. So I want to get what people got to say about it. Like I say, I just found out recently about it over the last week or so, and but it seems to be tomorrow is the actual day it's supposed to take place. Am I correct, y'all? It's supposed to be August 1st is when they're supposed to be actually doing it?
Yeah, I do believe so. Going down less than 4 hours, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But my thing is, I never supported African businesses anyway. Because guess what? I'm not one of them. They're not one of us. And they still trying to find a way to put it all out here in the social atmosphere that we are one of them. That we need to stop trying to delineate from African, because they keep trying to tell us, well, you guys come from here. You are African. And we keep going back and forth with these people, telling them, look, we are now, by virtue of the fact that we've been in America for over 500 years, we are Americans. Black Americans. That's what we are called. That's what we go by. That's how we distinguish ourselves from you guys. You guys are Africans. That's you. You are African. And be proud of what you are. That's what you are. You're African. We are proud of who we are. We're Black Americans. We are delineating, and you motherfuckers, excuse my French, can't seem to understand that. And you don't want it to go down like that. But I have never been down with the African or I should say supporting them or their businesses. No, I have never been down with that. If anything, we need to support just really our own and build up our own. That's what we need to be doing. We got to do a greater gathering of our resources to bring in what we need for ourselves. For too long, I feel like our people have been a greater source for helping others, and it has been to the detriment of our people. We got to get away from that. We got to put all resources towards what's best for our people. And you can see what's going on in America, y'all. America is going backwards. If you can't see it, then you must be blind. Because look at all the stuff you see out here in the videos. Look at all the stuff you just see around you in your daily life. So these white people are acting towards you. The hate towards Black Americans has increased. Okay? And these folks want us up out of here. And they're doing all kinds of craziness to try to run us up out of here. So I'm not down with supporting the Africans. I'm just not going to do it. Okay? Because they don't support us. Now, let me say this about this Cincinnati Brawl, right? The white supremacists, once again, will get a hold of videos, and they will do their best to put spins and narratives to these videos. They would even go to the extreme to edit the videos, which they have done. They did it from the very get-go. They edited out the very part of the video where this Russian attacked the black guy first. See, they don't even try to talk about that. Now that part of the video has been seen, now they're trying to say, the way they ganged up on this guy is the problem for us. And then, of course, they're talking about this white woman that got knocked out. I couldn't really tell y'all, but it looked like to me that in that video, the white woman got knocked out by somebody that looked white to me. I don't know, but that didn't look like a black guy that knocked her out right there. But then again, so what is it with white women loving to jump in these fights and shit? Yeah, what is up with that? Because I'm just going to tell you all, if you go back to the Montgomery Brawl, of course, that's right here in my state, Alabama. You go back to the Montgomery Brawl, you will see where the white women were trying to jump on the black men that were fighting their men, right? That's a fight between the men, right? Black men and white men. Why are white women jumping in? See, that's what I'm saying. So if you jump in a fight that's between the men, you kind of get what you get. You understand what I'm saying? You get what you get. Hey, I know people are talking about, she shouldn't have been done that way and all that, but hey, you jump in these fights knowing that it's fights with the men, between the men, but you as a woman, you want to jump in there. What is up with that? and let me say this. I love the fact. But wait, let me give a shout out to the sisters, because our sisters, one thing I love about black women, they don't jump in the fights when men are carrying on fights between each other. Women don't jump in those fights. They ain't gonna jump in there because they know that's the fight between the men. White women, they will jump in that fight with their man against another man, or in there with the men. It's crazy. But I will say this: they're using another video, of course, y'all, to spin a narrative of spreading lies, misinformation, and it's just white supremacy at work big time, y'all, trying to spread misinformation and lies. It's just like what we saw with the Carmelo Anthony thing, where they got a hold of that story and they started spinning that, twisting that. These folks, basically, y'all, I'm going to tell y'all what they're really trying to do. They're spinning these storylines because they want to try to get a hate crime bill. And basically, I guess that'd be another hate crime bill against us, like what happened with the Asians that tried to say we was attacking them, right? Which it wasn't us attacking them. But so this is what white Americans trying to do. These people try to play oppressor and also victims. So they want to get a hate crime bill. See that they being attacked by black Americans. See, yeah, y'all, that's the other spin to all of this. I want you to understand, family, what is going on here. They want to try to get a hate crime bill against us because we are now considered the group that's basically the hate group. We are the hate group in America. That's how white folks want to spin this shit. They want to try to take that mark off of them as being the oppressors and the haters, right? And they want to put it all on us, like we the ones doing all the bad stuff. Yeah. So I'm gonna land right there, family.
All right. Let me go ahead and shout out to everybody coming up in here as well, too. I see y'all. What's up? Original, I see you down there as well, too. QT, Nita, what's going on with you? Andre, Rerod, what's up with you as well, too? Anybody that wants to speak, feel free to come on up here. I want to get what everybody's saying. Professor, you said something about the Africans. I'm going to get to you right now. I'll be honest. I've never been to an African business that I know of in my life. Here in Florida, I have been to Caribbean businesses and stuff like that, and of course Spanish, but I can't think of any, any African business, because I've lived in North Florida and South Florida. I can't think of any African that had a business that me or my family actually, ever went to. I can't even actually, I'm trying to think here in Tallahassee, is there an African business here? I mean, if it is, I must just not know of it or whatever, but I don't really, I don't really know of any African business, anything. So I can't really speak on it. I've never been to one. I've never, I know you have a lot of the sisters go and get their hair braided and stuff like that or whatever, all my girlfriends and stuff, when they went to get their hair braided, it was always somebody, it was one of their homegirls or somebody they worked with or somebody they knew in the neighborhood or something like that or whatever. It was always, it was just a regular black chick that was braiding hair, whatever. So I don't, I'll be honest, I don't know anything about the actual, actually going to an actual African business, because I can't think of one, in my cities growing up that I went to or whatever. So, if there was one, I don't know about it. I never really went to it or whatever. So, I can't really speak on it. I've never been to actual African business, but let me go ahead and get to Aunt Lai. Aunt Lai, you got, and then Original, I got you next as well, too.
Peace, Black Power, and reparations. I'm gonna read real quick. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna be real quick. How y'all doing? I'm glad you had a space tonight. I want to say, in regards to the African boycott, I believe it's the African shops. They have like African supermarkets around and stuff like that, but I don't know any Black Americans that frequent those. I do know it was a bunch of videos of Black women being disrespected by the African hair braiders to the point where they're being physically assaulted when they're getting their hair done. When they go, they're talking their language. It was one girl who actually was from that country, but she wasn't Black American, and they were talking about her. And she posted a video, and a lot of things have been said where they have gotten beside themselves. So Black women have decided to stop going to Black hair shops. So I do think that's where that boycott comes from. I support it 1,000%, because at the end of the day, think about going back to the 90s when I remember getting my hair done. What have these businesses done in the Black community? They're in the Black community, but we don't see them when it comes to any of our issues. They on silent. So I get why the boycott is basically the treatment. You should go where you are respected. If you're not respected in these shops, you have every right not to, use those facilities or those shops. So I agree with it. In regards to the Cincinnati Brawl, I'm going to give a shout out to my family in Cincinnati. I feel as though, the media going to do what the media going to do. White supremacists going to do what the white supremacists do. I disagree with what that was the professor said, where it's just coming out in the open. No, they have openly hated us for the longest. They are now comfortable with that, and they're able to say it, but it hasn't been a secret how people have been treating Black Americans. The only thing now is that they're continuing with their hate, but they're out in the open. These white people with their whites-only town, they've been had whites-only towns. They're called sundown towns. They've been had it where if you are Black, you know not to be in certain towns because of how you would be treated. So the fact that now that they have a town that says white only, be keeping y'all out, like they act like they're doing something to hurt us, because honestly, I want y'all to hang out white only towns. So we can know who y'all are. Y'all can stay away from us, because at the end of the day, I don't think people realize that white people cannot survive without us. If you think about everything that they do, even when it comes to media and who gets media attention or what, if black people literally decided, you know what, Black August, we're going to get off of social media, we're all going to do something else, because that was a one boycott that I saw that people were going to say, if black women, black people decide to get off of social media, everybody else will be clueless. We see what happened with TikTok, and black people used to do dances on TikTok. The white people used to steal them like they did everything else. And then TikTok became a place now where they talk about the issues and things like that, because black people got tired of people stealing their shit and they get rich. Excuse my French. But it's a point in time where they would not survive. It was not us. They depend on us to thrive. Literally, the sun do them dirty. But we have to start, again, what you feed, grow. And a lot of stuff that they do to antagonize us. I was watching the Joe Budden podcast, and they was talking about the commercial with the white girl talking about her jeans and her jeans. She putting on the jeans with the blonde hair, blue eyes. And somebody saying that was done just to get our attention so we can, because they want free publicity. They want free publicity. And they need us because they know anything we say or anything we get mad at, they feed off of that. Then Dunkin' Donuts got the commercial with the boy saying the same thing, quote unquote, about his jeans and his tan. They know that. Like, look, we don't have no, like, even with the Cheerio commercial back in the day, it was a black father and a white mother, and that commercial got so much attention. Now every other commercial, every time you turn around, they had the same mix: black man, white woman, black, because they need us to thrive. If we start ignoring a lot of stuff, if we start really like not paying attention and not feeding stuff, it would be so dry out here, it'd be ridiculous. So the Cincinnati boycott, I'm praying that they get the legal representation, the black people that was charged, because they were assaulted first. And I feel like when he said in regards to he think it's going back, no, black people are not taking that shit. We out here, we doing the boot dance, we minded our business. They trying to do they trying to go back in the day, and they're not really back in the day with their mentality. That's the same mentality, and we letting them know, you get in that business right where you disrespect us. Our turn of the cheek is out the window. The only cheeks we turn in is yours, from the left to the right, when we swing on your ass. Excuse my French. I'm so sorry. Lord forgive me. But that's what I feel like they not understanding. They getting hand to butt and they don't like it. And it's at the end of the day, it's so much you can do. Y'all got y'all president in office and y'all think we just going yes master, no master, and start to pick cotton. Y'all got the wrong ones. Right where you just, it was a girl, it was just a video I just saw where the girl was in the store and the dude called her a white, called her the N-word. And her uncle and them pulled up. Like, yeah, he got to get fired right now. We going to meet him outside. Black people not, we used to being used to y'all and how y'all feel about us, but black people letting y'all know, y'all can have y'all president all y'all want, but y'all also about to get these hands. So I just feel like the movement of us not really taking the issue no more is at a different level, because we ain't taking the issue no more. The turn of the cheek, that mentality, we no longer have. We understand we're in the fight for our survival. That's why we chose to rest and not do anything, because we understood the assignment. But at the end of the day, just because we understood the assignment don't mean we're going to let y'all slide. And that's what I feel like is going on now. The racism, how the people are, no, they've been doing this to us. They just out in the open with it now. And they're okay. They're comfortable with their racism and with their, because they have the ones that look resources because they want to keep all that stuff for themselves. Like, I'm cool off of it. So these braiding shops that are there, I hope y'all get a health inspector that is not one of y'all, so y'all can definitely get shut down because I know y'all not clean. I know for a fact that y'all not clean. And matter of fact, even really to add a little razzle dazzle, the reality of it is, like, again, if you're gonna set up shop and not give back, you don't need. So next time when I see y'all and I host another space, y'all better be there.
Or else.
Okay. I love you. I'm putting names in the title and I tell everybody all your mustache is fake.
Just go ahead and DM me. I'm not on here as much as I used to be, MF Kush, but just go ahead and DM me. We still having some issues. I don't know what the once that power went out, that power surge. For everybody on YouTube, we're still having some issues with the Wi-Fi connecting at times instead, and kind of going away. Just go ahead, MF, and just DM me or whatever. I'm not on here as much as I am, even though I'm posting content. Most of the time, I'm posting it straight off of News Total itself, but I'll try to. Back on a second ago, and then it kicked off and went because it was the actual, I don't know, something with the Wi-Fi. Once that surge came, the Wi-Fi went out again or whatever. So hopefully, if you guys on YouTube, hopefully it should be okay. I'm hoping, but it's been a couple times that the Wi-Fi is kind of, I don't know, surged or whatever here. So hopefully everything will be good. But go ahead. Somebody who what's his name was up here. Original was up here, but I guess Original set back down. But anybody that wants to speak.
Hey, you up here? You up here, Zeb? You came back?
I see.
Mic check, Xander. Can you hear me? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. You got it.
All right. Yeah.
You there, bro? You there? Nah, Joko, phone janky lanky. Xander, you there? Mic check 1 2 1 2. I think it's over. Hey, Original, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead, too.
I got kicked out of the room too, so he may have gotten kicked out like I did.
Okay, let's talk about this African boycott. Now, I would say, I think these Africans, they're upset with us. They have never been our friend. Let me just say that. Look at the purple pill. I put a post in there from the Negro Digest. It was I'm still looking over this, but this African, I think this guy was from Nigeria, was saying that said that Mr. William needs to be, let me blow this up so I can see. Mr. William needs to be reminded that Africans do not come here to be absorbed into the Negro subculture. Africans do not consider themselves Negroes in the American sense of the word. So they always delineated from us. But see, if it wasn't for our ancestors, they wouldn't be over here in the first place, because there was a zero quota, a very low quota of them coming over here. So it was our people whose fault. I think it was the Immigration Act of 64, 65, one of the two. That is what got them over here. And these Africans and Caribbeans, they've always had an attitude towards us as if, like I remember hearing some of them say stuff like, well, I'm more of an African American than you are. They've always had this attitude towards us. And so now that we're telling them that, what do we call ourselves? Foundational Black American, ADOS, or just Black American, we cut the African off. Now they got a problem. Now they want to tell us that we're xenophobic and this, that. No, they're the ones who have been xenophobic. And you see how some of these people that come into our space and they got this attitude towards us, but yet they don't want to go back. They claim that they're this and that, and they don't want to go back to their countries. They hate us because they don't get along with themselves over there. Look at all these tribes they got over there. They can't even come together. See, I think they ticked off with us because we was able to come together, and we're still able to come together and get some things done for ourselves. I mean, they're upset again because they were the ones who were promoting Kama Sutra Kamala. And we said, she is not one of us. And that tramp, she had already told us that she wouldn't do anything. She said that, and she looked in that camera and told that reporter that she wouldn't do anything that would only benefit Black Americans. And we didn't do anything to help her. So that's why she failed. And they needed us to vote for that tramp so that more of them could come over here. And now that Senior Trump is here. Now that Senior Trump is here, I'm looking at some of these, and a lot of these people now, regardless of what I call them the lying media, what they're saying, a lot of them have gotten final deportation notices. And I saw a post today on the ISR Homeland Security website. This African from Sierra Leone, he had been raping this 14-year-old girl. They got these sick practices in their homeland, and they want to come over here and inflict them on the people that live here. We don't want you. We tried to be friends with you. You didn't want us. And now we're like, good. You do your thing and we'll do our thing. And I think it's important that we let them know. But don't just boycott the Africans, boycott the Asian and the Hispanics too. None of these people like us. And now that they see that we are doing our own thing, there was a video of some Latino whatever said that he thought Black Americans was lying when they talked about racism. And he said, well, see, that's what you get. We don't care about you. You and your people get what you get. And so, but yeah, I think we need to just, like Chris was saying, we need to start supporting our own businesses. And all these other folks, you are what you are, but you're not our friend. And we're gonna treat you the same way that you treat us. If you don't like the way that we're treating you, then you need to be nice to us. And see, they're scurrying around. Because see, we had here in my community, there was this African store. You know how they always want to paint their store this old ugly green and red? It's like a dull green and a dull red. They had all kind of stuff going on over there. And we banded together. We got them the hell up out the paint. They had people hanging out there all, it's like it was like a shanty town place, basically. And we got them up out of there. I think they're having some problem with their business license right now. And we told them, no, you ain't bringing that crap over here. I don't care how you live in your home country, you're not bringing that over here. We don't want it. That is not who we are, and we will not adhere to their degenerate culture. Because you look at a lot of these old broken, degenerate Pan-Africans, they're the one that promoting all this garbage. And see, like now, they're upset with the brother Kaba Khomeini. You know, he's been in a lot of the Hidden Colors documentaries because he has come out and he has identified as a foundational Black American. So now, of course, the broke Pan-Africans, they're upset. See, they just want us to identify as being African. No, we are Black American because, see, they're upset because we start promoting lineage-based reparation. See, when reparations before it got popular, they was telling us we ain't gonna get nothing and da-da-da-da-da. And when California made it lineage-based, all of a sudden they have an issue. I don't care. That's who you are. You have shown us who you are. You're not our friend. And remember when I told you all, see that image I posted from the Negro Digest, that's from 1965. And remember, I shared with y'all some time ago about Dr. John Carlos from the 68 Olympics with the Black Power fist in the air. He attended high school with this guy named Dennis Dice in the 60s. Dennis would tell him, I'm not Black, I'm Jamaican. So the Africans and the Caribbean, they have never identified with us. They just used us to get over here, and they've never seen themselves as being a part of us. And so now that we've said, okay, not a problem, that is a problem for them. They need someone to stomp down on and to try to make themselves look good. Because on average, everybody knows who was that? It was somebody, some high-profile person went to Jamaica, and they filmed like they were going to a resort, and they took some footage on the way to the resort. It looked like Shantytown City over there. See, they get upset when we tell the truth about them, but they want to come out and think they can dictate to us and tell us that we don't have a culture. Oh, and by the way, Brother Kaba Khomeini, he also said that Black Americans invented hip-hop. He said, no, these Jamaicans and Latinos, they did nothing. So they're all upset about that. I forgot to throw that in there. And the Cincinnati, I didn't see a lot of the Cincinnati Brawl, but it goes to show, just like my mother taught me as a child, and I've said this before in the space, where she said, white folks gonna be white folks. I don't care where you put them. They ain't gonna be right, they ain't gonna act right, they ain't gonna do right, because they just ain't right. So they'll never have any faith, trust, or belief in them, because they will fail you every time. See, white people, they always do stuff like, when my mother bought her house after our father was killed, this white boy made a comment about her not being able to pay for the house. That, the house was built fresh, but he had some kind of realtor agency, and that's how she got the house. My mother told him, she said, well, she bought the land separately, then she had the house built on the land. My mother told him, said, well, look, if I get to where I can't pay for your house, you can come and get your house off my land. That white boy turned 8 shades of red. And then this was back in the 60s. Okay? See, white folks ain't nothing. And like I said, when we start ignoring them, I remember DJ said he was in a store one time and this white, and he was looking at like for some DVDs or something. And this white boy just kept trying, this old white boy just kept trying to get his attention. White cop trying to get his attention. And he wouldn't give it to him. They go crazy because they think that when they walk up, we're just supposed to acknowledge him. You ain't nothing. You're a piece of garbage. You below a piece of garbage. So you ain't nothing. So, so people just need to understand that these white folks, the white folks and the immigrants, none of them are no good. See, they're upset because, we're focusing on ourselves. And once we start moving in a manner where we're building businesses and we're doing this and that, it's over for them. Because all of these people have been living off of our money. They all have. And once that money gets cut off from them, they don't know what to do. Just like with the when we held our vote last year in the election cycle, all these immigrants, everybody was upset. Everybody was looking at us like, I can't believe they didn't vote for the Democrat. Well, if the Democrats not going to do anything for us, they don't get our vote. That's how that works now. And notice how the Democrats haven't even came back and attempted to apologize or anything. They just think they can appeal to us. I've been telling people, I don't care what Donald Trump does. I'm not voting for the Democrats. That's just where I stand now. I don't care what he does. That's on them. Now, as far as Shannon Sharpe, I could care less. And notice, and people need to stop calling these people, these women and men, because some are men, some are men too, these people that call themselves an OnlyFans model or an Instagram model.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead. I hit the button by mistake. Go ahead. You there, original?
But yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, I said people need to stop calling these people that's on OnlyFans and Instagram or whatever, and they call themselves a model. You are not a model. You are a prostitute. I'm not giving them any kind of respect because they are prostitutes. And Shannon Sharpe, I could kill that's what happened to him. He had been told, but he didn't listen. And not that regardless he had been told, he's seen what happened to black men over the years, over the decade. But he still went out there and did what he did. See, one of the things that really ticked me off with him, he said that he don't date his race, he date his wallet. Well, yeah, you dated your wallet that day, did you? Because you had to go about a lot of money. So he got what he got, and that's it. I'm not going to defend him. I'm not speaking up for him. He is on his own because he was born, and he did not adhere to the warning. So it is what it is, and as they say, it is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't. And I'm gonna land with that.
All right, appreciate that, original. Thank you. Zand, I'm gonna get to you real quick, but I know I had Nightfall up here, and he was having some issues. I don't know if he wants to speak, and then I'll get back to you. Nightfall, you want to say something? Are you good? I'm not sure. I know he's here, but I'm not sure if he can hear me. Maybe Nightfall may be having some audio issues. I know he said he couldn't hear before when he was up here as a speaker, so I can always come back to you now.
Everybody check for updates. Twitter updated like 2 or 3 times this week. Check for updates. Restart your phone. Come back. Go ahead.
All right, so I'll go ahead and I'll move to Xander. Xander, go ahead and unmute your mic. How you doing?
Hey, what's Xander? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You got it.
Hey, drop Nightfall too, just in case we can't hear him or he can't hear us. But go ahead.
Yeah, as far as that boycott of African businesses, I got no problem with it. As a matter of fact, a lot of that was in like the beauty industry with hair braiding. Hell, I'm bald headed, so it don't matter to me no way. I'm gonna end up boycotting it regardless. And now there's in that Cincinnati Brawl. It's basically a good that happened so that we can post it and show America, show the whole world exactly how deep racism runs in this country. Now, Shannon Sharpe, Now, see, this is one of the reasons why I don't like to generalize black males and black females. Like somebody else try to get upset and say black women, black males. Because see, here's shit like something like this. If one of us if any black male gets into a dispute with a black female and she says Shannon Sharpe, that's damn near a checkmate right there. How in the hell do you lose all? First of all, if you think of like every female race on the planet, if you're talking about a white female, I remember back in the day, you had a lot of these Negroes that were just the broke ones was the ones that ended up with the white females, the ones that really wasn't about nothing. Cause see, that was like the easiest thing to go out there and get. I don't understand how they get to a level like this, and then you lose money on you're putting yourself at risk, and you're losing money on the group that is the most diametrically opposed to your rise in your interest. I don't get that. Like, yeah, I don't want to see I don't want to see nobody get took by no race of female. But like, if you think about it, you're paying them to rob you. That's exactly what you're doing. And then when I saw her, I said, damn, I done seen black females on the street, just regular females that look a hell of a lot better than that. So maybe I'm wrong, but I'm trying to figure out how in the hell do you keep getting into a situation, any of these black males that are millionaires, how do you keep getting into a situation when you're getting your money took by them? Now I'm mute.
All right. Thank you. Hey, DJ, try to drop Nightfall. I tried to drop him at Nightfall. I tried to drop you, but it won't let me drop you so you can come back up. So
I got you.
Go ahead and drop him. Twizzler, go ahead. For those that can't support on Cash App, $sign News Soda, $sign News Soda. News Soda is the largest black-owned, Black American news media curation platform today in America. Once again, $sign News Soda, $sign News Soda. What's up? I see my girl Tata down there as well too. So shout out to Tata. Go ahead, Twizzler. You got it.
What's up with your news, Trevor? Long time no hear, player. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you, man?
You know me, if I complain, nobody will listen. So if I keep talking, they will say I'll be being. Respect to your room. I know how your space is, so I was about to say something. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I just want to say what's up to everybody. Long time no see. Shout out to the room. I see big head Melissa down there. Hey, girl, how you doing? One thing about the African boycott, it's really something that's necessary because we need to boycott a lot of other businesses, especially these Asian hair salons and these beauty supplies. I can't wait for my sisters to really put forth a boycott to really bring light that how come that it is a hair care industry that's ran by people that's not Black American, and the cold part about it, they do business across country and foreign interests. There is so much treason going on to where when we put forth our claim to our Black Americans reparations, right, and our Black American hate crime bill, there's so much treason that we could bring up because these immigrants are coming over here gaining so much prosperity from our economic base to where we are supposed to be living off that. Like I say, I remember a time where the neighborhood was Black owned, the liquor stores, grocery stores, even some drug stores were Black owned. But now all of a sudden, how did that happen? That's the systematic and one of the pure definitions of racism. Not only that is one of the acts that they implemented us to prevent us from having an economic base to where we can survive and thrive on our own. And not only that, create an economic base that's having nepotism form to where we can keep our money within our community. That's the main thing that they stopped and they hated on. Because I'm from them days. I'm old enough to remember them days. I come from a Black community, a Black town where it was all that. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to say, man, it all starts with us. I said this before and I'll say it again. We really need to appreciate our elders and be there for our elders and support our elders for the simple fact they fought our fight. They've been through what we're going through. And a lot of us, we need guidance in this fight. And it's a lot of stuff that we can't get from books. We need some stuff that we can get from experience. We need experience from people who fought this fight, who've been there. Not only that, who know a thing or two. You know what I'm saying? We need to support our elders. And with the Cincinnati Brawl,
I 100% support it. I saw the video, and the brothers defended themselves. And as we all know, white people do not like taking a loss. And since it's been nationwide, they got to defend it. They got to call us criminals, crooks, and all that. But we all know if the shoe was on the other foot, it would just been like they would have celebrated it. They would have been heroes. They probably would have had them Russians on Fox News talking about it with Will Kane. So, hey, it's better to laugh now than cry later. So shout out to them brothers in Cincinnati. They got my support. And if they think that's something, let them foreigners come over here trying black Americans thinking this is the 40s, 50s, and 60s to where we're going to turn the other cheek and bow our head. They're going to learn the hard way. It's like they always said, a hard butt make a soft butt. You remember, hard head make a soft ass. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to find out. You know, and with Shannon Sharpe, I can just say this, man. He got what he was asking for. Monique tried to tell him, Cat Williams tried to tell him, and a few other people tried to tell him, just like Michael Vick, leaving white women alone. But yet he thinking that he's above everything. You know, no disrespect for my brothers to the south of the country, but he's an ignorant country boy who couldn't grow beyond his standards. And he thinking that he, just because he's a jock and he got these 3 Super Bowls in that status, that he's untouchable. But as we all know, and real people from reality know, you're going to have a humbling experience. And when that humbling experience, you get knocked down so low to where a snake has more credibility than you. And what make you in life, especially as a man, is when you can rebuild yourself from that. But if you can't, we just go to show who the real is. So Shannon Sharpe, I don't have no sympathy, remorse, and I don't even have no, how should I say, allegiance with him, because he wasn't there for us. I remember when all this stuff was going on, he was up there with Skip. You know, I'm too busy scared of Skip Bayless. So, hey, man, be careful with what you ask for so you just might get it. So, hey, you on your own, and don't come crying to Black America, because when Black America was sitting here fighting for Trayvon Martin, George Floyd, and all these other people who was fighting for, where was you at? Too busy trying to sit up there like you about that life with a wave cap on, with a black and mild in your mouth with some 1842, some 1492, talking about, I'm finna go hang with Mayweather like you about that life. And you can smoke Black and Miles no more. Where they kick you from, you know? Shout out to everybody. And hey, I hope I kept it respectful, News Trotter. You know what I'm saying? Peace, y'all.
All right. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, Twizzler, as well, too. Like, yeah, man, I hadn't smoked the Black and Miles since about 2000 or something like that. So, yeah, it's been
man, come on, man. That Black and Mild breath was the worst, dude. If you've been around people who smoke Black and Miles, man, you'd be like, look that away. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, shout out.
Oh yeah. I had a ex-girlfriend used to tell me about that all the time. You stink. Yeah. But yeah, you brought me back down memory lane on that one there. But yeah. And I agree with you on that too, Twizzler, as well too. Like I mentioned that earlier in the space before a lot of y'all came in. We were talking about the actual boycott, and I'm like, hey, what about the other groups as well too? Now you talking about the Africans, but what about the Asians and, you know, the Latinos and the Arabs and all these other groups now that, you know, let's be for real. These other groups control a lot of business in the black neighborhoods. When you look at these corner stores and stuff like that, most of that's controlled by the Arabs and the East Indians. When you think about the laundromats, same thing goes there. And I'm not even talking about white people. When you're talking about these other little places and stuff, you got a lot of Spanish people, especially up north and stuff, those bodegas and all that other stuff as well too. We already mentioned the hair care industry and the beauty industry, the little salons and all those places that the sisters go at, Korean and Chinese run and everything else as well too. So yeah, like, I mean, I see the boycott, the African boycott, and I think that was one of the things online that you had people kind of say, hey, you know, why Africans being singled out, and everybody else is like, well, hey, you know, why won't these other groups get some of it as well too? I mean, and I said it before, being here in Florida, I don't ever remember, and I could be wrong, but I don't ever remember actually going to any business here in Florida that was actually African run. I mean, I lived in South Florida where it was a bunch of Caribbeans and stuff down there, and I've been to Caribbean spots and stuff like that, but I can never recall ever going to a business here in Florida that was actually African run, like actually going and, doing business with African people. So, you know, I could be wrong on that, but I don't remember. I'm gonna go ahead and get Nightfall. Nightfall, how's your sound? Can you hear us now?
I can hear you perfectly fine. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What's going on tonight?
Outstanding. Hey, everybody in the space, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to finally be back with you guys. I miss the heck out of you guys. I miss these spaces because there's just so much real talk that's given out. It's not too cerebral. It's not too ghetto. It's right there in the middle where regular folks live. And, once again, I'm just glad to be back. Now, having said that, I said before at the beginning of this year in one of the spaces way, way, way back, 2025 is going to be the year of FAFO. For those of you that don't know, that's fuck around and find out. Excuse my French. But that's exactly what 2025 has been. Ever since Trump took back over, people have really been getting their stuff pushed in, and everybody wants to blame us. Well, Foundation of Black Americans ain't really studying none of this because it's a regular Tuesday to us. The Latinos are getting they wake up call that, excuse me, no matter how light skinned you are, you ain't white. You'll never be white. Ain't enough you can do to be white. It is just that way. Y'all voted for him, so hey, you voted for a bus ticket back home. Arrivederci. Next up, white folks. This is 2025. It's not 1865, not 1925. It's not 1715. This is 2025. You put your hands on black folks, we're going back to the thoughts of the 70s. You're going to sit there and find out. Not everybody. Oh my God, you are white boy. Not everybody is on that, Martin Luther King, turn the other cheek, let it ride, let it slide. No. We on shaft up in here, and whatever you get, especially if you pull trigger first. And quite frankly, we shouldn't be surprised anything about the media. Hell, they were sitting there saying that Daniel Penny was justified in killing a man who was literally having a mental breakdown. And he wasn't doing anything to anyone. He was maybe being a nuisance, but he didn't bother nobody. So, hey, there you go with that. Trayvon Martin, a young man going home to watch the damn NBA playoffs, had just went to the store to get some snacks. He gets killed by a grown man who had nothing to do with him, didn't know him, hadn't talked to him, didn't even know the man's name, and he got killed. How was it Trayvon's fault? So, yeah, as far as them trying to sit there and turn these Russians into Captain America, it's no big deal. But, hey, we all know the difference. The only thing is we have to sit there and throw our weight behind them black folks to make sure that they don't get railroaded. Now then, the last but not least, I'm going to say this about Shannon Sharpe. I don't necessarily condone what he did. I don't. He should have known better. Absolutely. You can talk about Cat Williams tried to tell him, and you can talk about Monique tried to tell him, well, hey, the thing is you love who you love. And if we're going to use that for everybody else and their proclivities when it comes to their bedroom, we're going to use it for him too. Granted, I'm not condoning what he did. And I sure as hell don't believe that woman deserved a dime because he hadn't done anything to her that she didn't want him to do. My only problem is I'm not going to dance on that man's grave, and I'm definitely not going to sit up here and say he should have lost his job because he didn't do anything criminal. The only criminality to Shannon Sharpe was being a big black buff country bumpkin who sat there and got caught putting his Twizzler inside some white woman. That being said, I'm not about to sit here and say that it wouldn't have happened to him if he had been with anybody else. Because look at all the other black men that have sat there and been run through the daggone mill and had their names destroyed and everything else by other women sitting there talking the same lies that they did on him, and they weren't white. If you want do some real research and find out what I'm talking about, look up your boy Doug Christie and his wife and what he's gone through. Now, she's blackity black, blackity black, but yet she spent $300 million of that man's daggone money and made him raise a daughter that wasn't his for 20 plus years and is just now getting caught doing it. So, yeah, did this chick sit there and steal some money away from him? She sure did. But ain't nobody gonna tell me that she did worse than Doug Christie's wife. And I'm just gonna land there. We gotta stop sitting here and
shit right there, dude.
Real quick. I have to get the language in check tonight because we done had some slip ups, everybody. So let's chill with the language and let's let people finish. And then Twiz, if you want to say something, you got it or whatever. But don't drop no F bombs. We heard those. Don't drop the BS. Don't drop that because we are streaming this on YouTube as well, everybody. I saw you with your thumbs down as well too. So if you want to say something, you get your hand up. We'll let y'all we'll let everybody go ahead and speak on it. Go ahead, Nightfall. You got it. That might be a double mute, but you got it, Nightfall. Yep, is Nightfall still there? Maybe he can y'all hear me? Nightfall, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear Nightfall.
My bad. It had been muted. My bad. I was trying to get it back on, and it's finally on. All I'm saying is we've got to be real careful as Black people. I know that it's real cool. You know, it's kind of niche and it's really chic to sit here and, you know, throw Black people under the bus whenever some kind of impropriety is thrown out there. But, you know, like we learned with Cosby, like we've learned with Michael Jackson, like we've learned with Diddy. Fine, people can do stupid stuff, but we shouldn't sit here and be ready to dance on their grave simply because somebody else said so. Let's wait for it all to come out. If they bad, then fine, they bad. Let's destroy their lives. Let's cream their name. But to do so beforehand, that's just doing our enemies' jobs for us. And either we stand together or we don't. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
I'll land there.
All right. Appreciate that, Nightfall. Now, I know we may have Twizzle. If you want to say something, get your hand up. I see Aunt Lai, she got her hand up. I know she wants to respond to what she heard as well to Nightfall.
I will let the queen go.
Nightfall look like he disconnected. So yeah, like that.
I will let the queen go. Go ahead, queen.
Hey, go ahead, Aunt Lai.
Really quick. I'm gonna just say, how you gonna sit here talking to some Black people? We gotta stick together, and then you talk about a Black woman, Crispy, whatever her name is, and Doug Christie. We don't even know the story of that situation. They said it was false. This about Shannon Sharpe and that white chick, and he gonna sit here and talk to someone the Black woman did him worse. He sound like he like white women. Because it don't even make no sense how he comes to that scenario. But I'm not going to put him down. He made a mistake. Well, she did him worse. This Black woman did this Black man worse. But the white woman who took $20 million because she was a prostitute, she cool with it? Like, y'all love to throw Black women under the bus. And it's just like, we ain't even in this. Shannon Sharpe don't even like Black women. So how to get to the point where we kicking a Black woman back in? This 20-year-old girl took $23 million. He talking about his daughter getting $30,000 wedding and she got to have spaghetti dinner. This ain't got nothing to do with Black women. Like, he lucky he got off here because he don't got my blood pressure raised. But in regards to the African boycott, I really think it's the hair braiding shops. I don't know about any Black Americans going to a Black or African business. Maybe African food, but I don't even really think we eat African food. I think it's for the women boycotting the hair braiding shops.
All right. Yeah.
I just want to say, Liz, correct, because we all know Africans pander to white people. They don't want our business. They want white people business. They want to be next to them and close to them. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to say this, News Troller, you got to forgive me, man, because it's rare to where it's spaces to where I'm around a bunch of men. And I feel like I'm at the bar with my brothers. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I shoot the SHIT and spit the SHIT because I feel like I'm around my brothers and my peers. But I respect your hustle, man, you know, and I'm going to respect your room. So please forgive me, man, you know, if I have a Fordrian slip, you know what I'm saying? But shout out to Liv because she's 100% correct. And one thing for sure, two things for certain, Shannon Sharpe got what he asked for. Because I said before and I say it again, Cat Williams and Monique told him, quit playing in the snow because you are not a white person. You know what I'm saying? But he played in the snow and he got the pure definition of FAFO. And he's learning right now. And I don't care about his crocodile tears. And I don't care about him trying to run to the black community looking for support or looking for remorse. He wasn't doing that a month ago. He wasn't doing that 6 months ago. And like I said, he wasn't doing it when Trayvon Martin, George Floyd, and Carmelo Anthony was going through things. So why should we care about him and his sexual depravities? You know what I mean? Man, be a man. Stand on your own square and be accountable for your actions and stand there 10 toes down, head up high. And hopefully it can brush up under the rug. But the more you try to cry and avoid it, it's going to last out and it's going to destroy you. So, hey, you ask for it. You ask for white women. You beg for white women. So, hey, you got one and this is what you deal with. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, News Charter, please forgive me, man. I'm in rare form right now. And I'm just happy to be in a space with a room full of men and some solid sisters. You know what I'm saying? I land my plane.
Oh no, it wasn't just you, Twizzle. Like, I mean, I wasn't just talking about you. Like tonight, we've had quite a few slips. Like before you even got in the space, so it wasn't about you. Quite a few people that regulars and stuff was kind of dropping or whatever. So I haven't had a space this week. This is the first space I had this week or whatever. So once again, I'm just laying.
I remember you said you was dropping out for a while. I ain't seen you in about a month or so.
Yeah, I had been out for a while because I've been working on the site and stuff like that. But I came back a couple of weeks ago. Last week I was going to do a space, but I ended up having a kidney stone, so I couldn't do the space last week. But I came back a couple of weeks ago and I was doing like one space a week. I think I did two spaces a couple of weeks ago. So I'm trying to slowly work myself back in it, but I'm still working on the site and stuff and working and stuff like that as well too. So I'm trying to slowly work my way back into it. At least trying to do one space, possibly maybe even two a week. But I'm gonna say this about the Shannon Sharpe thing. And I know and Monique and Cat Williams, they gave him the game. Monique and Monique came from this standpoint right here. Monique was saying, and back to what Nightfall was saying, Monique was saying that, hey, not so much even just white women in particular. Like Cat Williams let you know straight up, hey, leave the white chicks alone. You see Jonathan Majors. Monique was saying basically, hey, no matter what she is, if you messing with these 26-year-olds and these 36-year-olds, because we got to remember now, Shannon Sharpe is got to be in his mid-50s, I'm sure. Like, hey, she's saying that you need to get you an OB and you need to go ahead and sit down or whatever. So that was her whole thing. Like she didn't really talk about the race as much. Cat Williams straight up said, hey, leave Becky alone. Monique was saying, hey, leave these little hot mamas alone and get you somebody closer to your age. Basically 40-some years old on up. Like leave the 30-some-year-olds alone, leave the 20-some-year-olds alone. You too old for that. You done had your share of that throughout your life and stuff. I mean, come on, this dude been a football star for over 30-some odd years. Leave that alone. I will say this to the point right here too. To me, that whole settlement was complete BS. This white chick, and I know he was playing slave play with her, because she's sitting up here talking about putting a big black baby of her and all this other nonsense and this and that or whatever, But that is a game you play, because if he had been a white man and he had that kind of those kind of text messages, people would say, hey, this was a consensual relationship. They both were this and that or whatever. But anytime when these white women sit up here and make an accusation against you, even if it's a white man, they're gonna get paid. But if it's a black man, they're definitely gonna get paid. And it's nothing you can do unless you got some actual hardcore evidence to kind of, to kind of refute what they're saying. You're going to cough up some money. It happened with Kobe Bryant back in the day when the girl accused him, the woman accused him in Colorado that time. He had to cough up some serious money. Kobe was married. He had an affair, whatever. The girl talking about he did this, did that. In that case, it was so long ago, but there's some of the stuff, and I don't want to say anything allegedly, but from what I can remember, allegedly, it seemed like that woman, allegedly, I can't remember exactly, but allegedly, it seemed like that woman may have been involved with other guys as well too, and body fluid and everything else was present and stuff like. Didn't matter. It did not matter because she said he took it. So as a black man, you got to always remember that if you sitting up here and you up with one of these white chicks and they sit up here and say you did something to him, you finna cough up some money, period. Straight up. It's no ifs, ands, and buts. And that's just, even though he was in a relationship with this woman and everything else and whatever, this and that or whatever, first off, these white people look at it and say, well, he's too old to be messing around with her anyways. Like, it don't matter. Al Pacino could be damn near 90 years old and have a baby walking around here, whatever. He's not too old to get him a little young white piece of tail. But the fact that you got this big buck, he's sitting up here with this. He's sitting up here with this little OnlyFans girl. Not only that, it's an OnlyFans girl. Like, you just signed $100 million contract. You got one of the hottest podcasts, and this is the kind of tail you running behind. Like this little tramp like this here too. So I mean, that's another thing I know that's got people upset, got people mad as well too. A thing I don't like even about it as well too, and it's not so much even about Shannon. His brother Sterling Sharpe is about to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Sterling Sharpe was one of my favorite players. Sterling Sharpe, they're going to be the only two brothers inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame. They beat the Manning brothers, and Sterling Sharpe should have been inducted. I know his career was cut short because of a neck injury, but he should have been. He was the baddest receiver next to Jerry Rice when he was playing. He's going to find
Green Bay.
Yeah,
Green Bay.
He's finna finally get his due, and just as he's about to get his due and be inducted, and I'm sure Shannon was going to be the one that inducted him the same way he inducted Shannon into the Hall of Fame. I can remember when Shannon got inducted to the Hall of Fame, in his speech, he said, you know what? I grew up in a household where I was the second best football player, giving reverence to his brother, Sterling, who led the way. So now Sterling's big moment, all these years, he'd been retired with 30-some years, is going to be overshadowed because of the whole situation with Shannon. And Shannon was saying that he hoped that ESPN would go ahead and wait till after Sterling was inducted in the Hall of Fame. Why would these people wait? What in your right mind thinks you that these people are going to wait and do you any kind of favor? They done fired you. They done made sure you're not going to cash in on that check. So why the hell would they care about your brother's feelings or your feelings or whatever? So that's the thing that really, really, too, that really bothers me, that Sterling, his big day, 30-some odd years since he retired or whatever with a neck injury, finally getting his due, about to go in the Hall of Fame, and now his brother, all of this stuff right here, it overshadows his big day. So that's another thing that I really don't like about the whole situation as well. On top of, this was just a money grab. You got this little dingy girl, this dingy, whatever she is, got her, set her up for life. You done given her generational wealth. She was into the slave play. You was her fantasy. She had this big former NFL player, this older black man doing all kind of things to her and this and that or whatever. And all of a sudden, y'all had some kind of falling out down the way. And she said, you know what? I can get some money out of this. And she done got some money. And now you sitting up here and now it just, you're the face of everything right now. And this could have been avoided. But like we said, Shannon does. He likes the white chicks, and that's his thing. Hey, that's his thing. But like I say, that does come with a warning sign attached to it as well too. When it say handle with caution, that's exactly what they're talking about right here. The moment that something goes wrong, she's in complete power, and that's one thing that black men, these black athletes, these black entertainers, they forget when they're dealing with these white women. You might be a man. You might be an athlete, you might be a celebrity, you might be the breadwinner, you might be world famous, you might be nationally known or whatever, but at the same time, this white woman always holds all the cards and she holds all the power over you no matter what. I don't care what you think you did to her in that bed and how you tore it up. She still owns you. She still, anytime she hiccups, anytime she coughs, anytime she gets upset and she wants to say anything about it, there's nothing you can do about it. You can have the best attorney and everything else in the world. You may not face criminal charges, but hey, they know how to shake it down. You ain't got to do no criminal charges no more. All you got to do is say, hey, we're going to settle this and this and that or whatever. Hey, if you was gonna pay, and before I know this, it was a $10 million lawsuit that he was gonna pay, and she declined that or whatever. She knew she had him. She knew she had her hooks in him. He should have did the Diddy thing. He should have like Diddy, stood his ground. I'm sure you probably got more text messages and everything else with this woman or whatever. Stood your ground, said I'm not gonna give you anything, and go to court or whatever. Say, hey, you know what? We're going to go to court. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Hire you a private investigator. Get all the kind of dirt you can get on her, just like they're going to get all the kind of dirt they can get on you or whatever, and say, hey, I'll see you in court. And if you beat me in court and I got to do this and I got to pay you, then fine, this and that or whatever. But there was no this. There was no, you weren't assaulted. You weren't victimized, anything else like that. You enjoyed every moment with me. So, Professor, DJ, any of you guys, Aunt Lai, I know you up here. And like I said, I can respect what Nightfall was saying in terms of that. I know it's a different situation with the Doug Christie thing and everything else as well too. But just on this thing right here, I feel like Shannon Sharpe got railroaded. But at the same time, you play the game, and hey, you know you got to take it for the way it is. You got to take the way the ball's gonna bounce. Go ahead, Aunt Lai.
Peace, Boycott, reparations. In the settlement that just happened, she admitted that it was a consensual relationship. That was part of the agreement. So she said that he didn't.
So why in the hell would you go ahead and give this woman money if she? I mean, that don't even make any sense.
No, that's how the case works. When you're suing somebody and you wanted to go away, now he could have sued because she admitted that whatever, and then took it and got the quote unquote. But they did it this way because her suit against him was civil. His suit against her was civil. It wasn't a criminal. Like she didn't go to the police. So basically, it was a civil matter. And yeah, I get what you're saying. He could have said, well, I'm not paying you anything, yada, yada, yada. But it don't work that way in civil cases. Like, you gotta.
Oh, yeah, I know in civil cases it don't, but that's what I'm saying. I'm saying he should have went ahead and said, you know what, I'm not paying you nothing. If you want to go to court or whatever, we'll go to court. But I'm not paying. I'm not going to give you. You're going to have to beat me in court to get this money. I'm not going to give you anything.
I get what you're saying. As a person who has a civil lawsuit going on for 7 years, it is not everything that you think it is when it comes to court and civil matters. And as a black man dealing with the court, a lot of black people who decided to go to court and go to trial with all white jury who were innocent were found guilty simply because they're black. So as a black man going to court for a trial to fight it, even though you know you're innocent, I'm going to say, I don't think that's the best option. When you dealing, if he would have got an all-white jury and they would have said he guilty just from the simple fact at her age, his age, and the quote-unquote, you know what I mean? So he didn't want to roll the dice with a black man going to court. How many black men who are in prison right now?
He's got text messages and everything else from this chick sitting up there.
But you're dealing with a jury. You're dealing with a jury, and you're not dealing with the best jury. Again, we have black men who were on trial for crimes they did not commit. And they were found guilty simply because they didn't have the complexion for the protection. So I get what you're saying as far as the evidence. You don't know when you got the court, the judge ruled that evidence is insubmissible in court. Like I'm dealing with a case right now where the state won't even give over it's a civil matter. They won't even give over the evidence. And I'm telling the state, like, what are y'all doing? We've been waiting for discovery for 2 years. And then it's your life. So now you're dealing with this shit for 10 years. Why you got this? I've been dealing with this shit since my daughter was 9. She'll be 14.
Language. So
I get what you're saying as far as fighting in court. But the thing is, the court is not our friend. The judicial branch of government, in my next book, it'll be trying to come out before January, is how the judicial branch of government targets black people.
But here's the thing. So here's the thing that Diddy had more charges against him than Shannon Sharpe would have had. And even though he got found guilty on 2 of the most serious charges, he wasn't found guilty on. And you can make a case that he shouldn't have been found guilty on even those charges because people are screwing prostitutes left and right every day sitting up there.
And he was found, that's my point. He was found guilty for a BS charge that been in since the 1900s that has been tried. They literally tried Diddy for charges that they tried no other person in the history of the country. That's my point exactly. Why Shannon Sharpe said, let me just pay this bitch ass, this shit go away. You proving my point. When you're dealing with the court.
Yeah, the language.
I'm sorry, but I'm just saying, when you're dealing with the court and the corruptions of a court and you're a black man, Diddy case is a perfect example. Remember the articles that came out that were saying that he had GHB inside the baby oil and that if you go to baby oil, it had drugs in it and all these salacious articles that the FBI and the federal government put out about Diddy when it came to trial, none of that stuff was brought up. The whole Diddy thing was to prosecute him and destroy his reputation. He literally got found guilty, and the criminal charge against Diddy was his attorneys just submitted the documentation today. They applied the law, and for the law, it was for profit or business. A person in the history has never been charged for their personal, the way they interpreted the law to try it against him is BS. That's why I do think Trump should pardon him just on the fact that it was the abuse of the law in this case. So Shannon Sharpe saying he is a black man in America, if he would have got an all-white jury, even if he would have shown, listen, she lying, he still would have been found guilty.
That's not that. It depends on what this situation, what this incident took place at, because let's remember, Diddy didn't have an all-white. He had a couple of black people on this trial as well too. I think 3 of them, and two Asian or Hispanic or something like that. So we can't sit up here and say that he would have had an all-white jury. We can't sit up here and say that for certain, because depending on how good your lawyer is and everything, your legal team, he could have made sure, and that's when you use the media as well to listen. You can't have no all-white jury up here right here, because race is going to be the deciding factor in it. So I don't believe he would have had an all-white jury. That's not to say that most of the people on the jury wouldn't have been white, but no, he wouldn't have had an all-white jury.
Even if the jury would not have been all white, we got to understand the fact that the law. Even what if the person didn't? You got to say, okay, you're willing to be unbiased. What if they lying? Because you're dealing with white people who are inherently racist. In the country that we live in now, I understand why he didn't want to risk it, because we're not in a situation where. I trust me. I get what you're saying, but I'm just saying, as a black people, we know how the law sees us and goes after us. He would have had this thing go on for. Mine is almost. My daughter was 9. She's about to be 14 on Saturday. They're dealing with the law. You already at a disadvantage being black. You can have all the money in the world, but if they rule against you now, okay, this evidence can't be heard in court. It's all kinds of stuff that they use against you, and he didn't want that headache, and I understand that. Because it's not just you being innocent. You being innocent is irrelevant. It has to do with the mentality of the judge, how corrupt they are, and you can pay for verdicts. So I will understand why he wouldn't want to put himself in that situation. I get it. But I do understand what you're saying, but no, it's not. He's got the money. He's got the name. He's got the reputation. He's not sitting in this space like me and DJ and Professor and Original and Nightfall and the rest of us in it. He's got a lot more clout, a lot more money, a lot more prestige and everything else. He had a damn good chance. He's got evidence, and I'm sure he probably got videotapes and everything else of this chick as well too. So yeah, he damn sure could have went ahead. He damn sure could have won this case. And let's be for real. It only takes one person to have a hung jury as well, too. I get it, but it's not as black and white. Because what if the ruling would have been, okay, you can't use the recordings, or you can't, depending on the law, and you haven't, say if he would have recorded things in that state, there's no third party, you gotta have the person know.
But there ain't gonna be no, but I mean, they're not gonna be a rule and say you can't use text messages.
Yes, it is. The evidence that you have, I'm in court right now. I have evidence that they're literally saying the evidence that I have that I can't use it in court to show that these people did what I have them found guilty for. They literally filed a motion for protection because they didn't want to answer the questions, and the judge answered it. We're in the discovery interrogatory stage where you have to answer questions. The state of New Jersey filed a motion saying we want to be protected from answering these questions. The federal judge said yes. They also said we don't know the answers to these questions in my federal case. The federal judge said, okay, you don't have to answer them. The state judge said that's BS. By law, you have to answer them. So the state of New Jersey is trying to hurry up with my federal case because they have to give over answers from my state case. And I see that these devils at work. They literally told the federal judge they don't have the answers, that they don't have the evidence, but the state judge said they got to provide the evidence. So now I'm about to show that the state committed perjury once they give over this evidence, and they're refusing to do it for 2 years. So I get what's supposed to happen, but the crimes that have been committed against me, that I'm watching it happen, it's good. Oh, no, they can't do that. Everything that was done to me couldn't have been done. They still did it. And it was the state that did it. So I get what you're saying. He could have won at trial. No, he don't know that, because my case is, I have so much evidence for my case. My case is airtight. I have proven facts, but the state is refusing to give over evidence. There's nothing I can do about it. They filed a motion to compel in my case. Do you know what the judge did in both cases, a federal case and a state case? The federal judge and the state judge immediately took the motion to compel off the record because they didn't want to show that the state has been refusing to cooperate with the case because they didn't want that on the record that the state has been refused. So I get what you're saying, how what's supposed to be done, but I'm watching the corruption in the federal court and the state court. Why would you move the motion to compel when you got to answer the questions? You accuse somebody of something and they tell you they're not going to answer and see what happened. The federal judge and the state judge removed the motion to compel to make these people answer the questions. And as a black person, I'm just sitting here like, shit, what can I do? So I get what you're saying. I understand he got the money, he got the lawyers, he could fight it. But when you're fighting a corrupt system, it's not the person, it's the system that's designed to have black people as a target. Good luck. And I have a hell of a fight. It's still me being, I'm not fighting against the state, I'm fighting against the system. This
case is a he said, she said. Straight up. Now, your case you got to look at it too. Your case is a lot different. You're talking about the entire system. You talk about the entire going against a law enforcement agency and everything else right here. You're talking about a OnlyFans woman that was involved in a relationship with a man that's got all kind of evidence that they were in a consensual relationship and everything else like that. He had a damn good chance of beating this case if he would have went ahead and took it to court. Now, he may not have wanted to go to court because, hey, maybe more private stuff about his private life comes out and it like they did with Diddy and stuff like that, and maybe it's not so flattering and everything else like that. So from that perspective, if he said, you know what, there's parts of my life that I'd rather keep secret. I'd rather go ahead and pay this money and this and that or whatever. So this don't come out and people look at me different and everything else like that. Okay, fine. But this here was a he said, she said case straight up.
Yeah, everything that both of y'all saying, Shannon Sharpe's lawyer, I forgot who he interviewed with. I forgot who, it might like Art of Dialogue or something like that. Interview with, and he said the same thing both of y'all are saying. You know, we try to nip it in the bud, but you got this Tony Bugs we got. Let's bring him in the mix. Don't forget him. You know what I'm saying? We tried to get Jay-Z just recently and a whole bunch of other celebrities. You know what I mean? Black American celebrities, it seems, and just celebrities in Hollywood in general. So it's like, hey, these people are scammers. Scamming is the new job, y'all. So it's like, Shannon, you know, why you not want to hang around your own people? You got scammed by the cracking actors. It is what it is, man. So it's like, hey, you got to eat that, bro. But Shannon's lawyer literally was in the interview saying the same thing both of y'all saying right now. You know, the what ifs, you know, we'd rather do this versus that. You know, this could happen. You know, if we take it to trial, not take it to trial, you know, rather, you know, put it under the table and go on with his life. You know, yada, yada. I said all the same things y'all saying, though.
But here's the thing, though. If Shannon was really, really guilty, a lot of times it's not even up to the defendant themselves as to whether they settle. A lot of times it's up to their insurance company. It could be up to the company that they work for. Okay, just go ahead. We know this is a money grab. We know it's a lie. Just go ahead and pay this chick off and we'll move forward from there. And just look at Diddy. That's exactly what he did. He paid the chick off. She got $20 million out of it. Didn't even have to go to court. And it just grew from there. Now he's sitting on what? Almost a year and a half being in federal prison? I mean, come on. How is that fair? We've all heard all of the testimony now. They were in a consensual relationship. They were actually dating each other. She was sitting there screwing Diddy while she was screwing around with her husband. But yet, Diddy's still the bad guy?
And that is the
and then the floodgate opens up once you go ahead and once you start getting railroaded and blackmailed by these people. The floodgate. This ain't over for him. Okay, just like with the Diddy thing. Once you start selling these lawsuits, go back to the Michael Jackson thing. Johnny Cochran convinced Michael Jackson to go ahead and settle that first child allegation thing that he did. All that did was go ahead and set the groundwork for future cases. So people, oh, he did this to me. He did that to me. You got a couple white boys that was defending him the whole time he was alive. Oh yeah, Michael Jackson never did this. Michael Jackson never did that. Michael Jackson been dead for about 16 years. Now all of a sudden these white boys are like, well, they want to sue his estate. Well, you know, Michael Jackson did this to me. The whole time y'all sitting up here saying that this was a lie. He never did this. He never did that. So that's what I'm saying. Once you start selling these type of lawsuits like that, you become the gravy train. And people say, you know what? I had a relationship with him. Maybe I can get some money out of him. Or I used to hang around him. Maybe I can get $1 million or $2 million out of him. Oh, yeah, I'm going to get some money too as well.
But see, once again, this is proving me and Aunt Li's point. Just look at Jonathan Majors. The man proved in court he never did anything to that daggone woman. Never did anything, not nothing. And he was still found guilty. And even to some people now, that guilt isn't darn enough. Why? Simply because he was a black man with a white woman. Period. That's all that mattered. And what I'm saying is we got to stop throwing folks underneath the bus until we know the facts. And as far as we know the facts, this woman is just a consensual thought. Okay, so what in the heck crime did he perform against her? Except it being a big black buff man with money.
Okay.
Don't forget, Michael, Jonathan Majors was running down the street and the white woman was chasing after him. Oh my God! Run, Jonathan, run! Run, Kane, run!
Exactly, and he still couldn't run away from a jury.
And that's the thing about the jury in court. The judicial branch of government know that they target black people for the purpose of making them slaves again. You know, you could bring something against a black person or sue a black person and be in the right. But again, you're not going against the person you're suing or who's suing you. You're going against an entire system. And that's the thing that I had to realize about my lawsuit and the cases. I'm not just suing the New Jersey judiciary. The claims that I'm making, I'm going against the entire system. And I'm one little person and trying to question it. So I get what you're saying is that he against her, but that would mean that the court would have to show that this black man was innocent or whatever, and this lily white woman, and you know how they feel about their white woman and their white tears, is actually wrong. And another thing about him settling, the federal government can look at the case and come after you with criminal charges, just like they did with Diddy. But the reason why they did Diddy is because he filed a discrimination lawsuit. So him saying he don't want the federal government investigating him or doing anything else, and the federal government don't have to tell you, look, we investigating you. They just come. They have a 97% conviction rate. They don't have a 97% conviction rate because they are 100% correct. We talk about the federal government. They corrupt. So him making it go away and like, look, shit, this $23 million, excuse my French, this $23 million, but the headache alone is like, look, I got to get this, whatever. Especially dealing with the stuff that you know what I mean? But I do understand what you're saying. But when you're going against us, you're not going against a person. My lawsuit is not against people. I'm fighting a system of racism, white supremacy. I'm fighting the entire judicial branch of government in federal court and in state court for how they treat black people. And I'm showing in my case how they do it systematically. So I can be in right as long as I want to. I can have my evidence. I can do everything that I'm supposed to do. The federal judge literally filed a motion and literally said in this motion, because I failed to cooperate, because I failed to do this, and made up so many lies, it's ridiculous. But she's a judge. It's the whole system with Shannon Sharpe. So he don't want this headache. So I do get what you're saying, but at the end of the day, yeah, it's the system that is the issue. And I feel like we don't really see that it's the system. We think, oh, it's just him and his white woman. No, baby. Them white tears, and it's a whole system behind her. And those white tears that have lynched black men, found black men guilty for crimes they didn't commit, didn't do anything, places they wasn't even at. We have black men doing 20, 30, 40 years in prison for things that they didn't even do. But they black.
Mark my words. The floodgate is about to open up on Shannon. You're gonna have this. This is not gonna be the first lawsuit that he's gonna have to deal with. Whether he settles any other lawsuits, that's one thing. But you're gonna start having people coming out suing him. Matter of fact, somebody sent me something today where this woman is suing him for $20 million from Raindrops Media. $20 million lawsuit after allegedly spreading false claims about a woman's viral moment with Usher. Jimalita Tillman, a global director, Harold Washington Culture Center, says she appeared on the national media to correct the record, but alleges the defendant continued to spread rumors. She also claims a false narrative caused significant harm to her character and led to emotional distress. Okay, and is this the woman here that was feeding, that had the cherries that Usher was given to at the concert or something like that? So mark my words. Like I said before, it's not the end of it, unfortunately for him. He's going to have to deal with more of this stuff. He's going to have more frivolous lawsuits coming up and this and that or whatever, especially once you settle. People say, you know what? This nigga's got a lot of money right here, and I'm going to get me some of that money as well, too.
You got to understand, it's not just about your money. It's also your reputation. Because Michael Jackson went to trial not once but twice over that little Hispanic white boy and was found not guilty both times. But even to this day, after his death, he is still considered to be a child molester. So it doesn't matter whether you, especially in this establishment, in this society, it doesn't matter what you do, whether you fight or you don't fight, you are guilty until proven innocent. And that's just wrong. And we have to stop doing that. We do.
No, he actually went to trial. He actually went to trial one time. Remember that in 93, 94, whenever, 93, 94, he actually settled he settled that first one. The second one is when he said, you know what, let's go to court. And he was found not guilty. So yeah, he settled the first one. And the second one, he says, you know what, the second one is when the woman and her family was staying, I believe, on his property and this and that, was sick, and she's staying out there and this and that. And, and Chris Tucker, they had to call Chris Tucker and them to court and speak up on his behalf and everything else like that. One of the biggest mistakes of his life is when he settled that first allegation. It came back to haunt him because it ended up opening everything up, a can of worms. And every time you look, then you had to worry about allegations. You had to worry about lawsuits. You had to worry about this and that and everything else like that. That trial basically took it out of him. That trial took a lot out of Michael Jackson. He was never the same. And that trial, I believe, really took years off his life. I know it was he had he was addicted to the pain killers and all that other stuff like that, whatever. But that trial really is what pushed him over the edge. That he never psychologically ever recovered from that trial.
You're right. He didn't. And again, he was innocent. But yet you let the folks talk about it during the trial and after the trial. He was still guilty, regardless of what he did, regardless of what information came out, regardless of how much they were found on the stand to be lying. He was still guilty. This is what I'm saying. And again, yes, this woman was a white woman. We get that. But it's not just white women who are pulling this stuff, is what I'm saying. Cassie's not white. Cassie's not white. Cassie's Filipino, so that makes her Asian. She pulled this, and Diddy was found out to be guilty. Okay? Brian Banks sat there and had a whole black woman to himself. She sat there and took him to court and everything else on rape charges, knowing he didn't do it only because he didn't want to take her with him to the NFL. He spent, 6 years in prison behind that? And it was only after she was caught on tape saying that, hey, you know what? I shouldn't have lied about it, but you know what? Let's let bygones be bygones. But yet everybody believed she was guilty.
Hey.
The whole Cosby thing. Most of those daggone women were sitting there claiming he had, quote unquote, raped them, groped them, did this, did that, all the way back in the 60s and the 70s. No DNA, no eyewitnesses, no video, no nothing. But everybody said that Bill was guilty of doing all this stuff. even after the trial came out and it was found Bill was nowhere even near the places these women were sitting. Janet Dickinson, for God's sake, sat there and said he did something to her and got caught lying on the stand. And he still went to prison. So again, your guilt is not your actions or anything you say. You're guilty because you're black. And we can't keep letting folks getting lynched over this. Should Shannon be made fun of because of this? Absolutely. But should we be dancing on his grave over it when we know that this chick is lying through her daggone pearly white teeth? No. That's where I pull the strings, and that's why I stop. And I'm not sitting up here condoning the man or even praising him. I'm just saying, let us sit here and define a person by what they've actually done, not just because we don't like what they did or who they did it with, because that's just as wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not, I'm not celebrating that Shannon Sharpe had to pay this woman this kind of money and stuff like that as well too. I think everybody's in agreement that, hey, he shouldn't have gotten involved with her. And, but I'm not celebrating, and I'm not hoping worse things come for him. But I just know the way this stuff happens, that there are going to be more lawsuits. And the one that was at the Usher concert, if that's true, that link that somebody showed me that this woman is suing him. Well, this is a black woman. It's the one that was up here licking the cherries out of Usher's hand at the concert at I think at the in Vegas or whatever. When Usher had the residency at Vegas, I want to say, and she was going crazy with the cherries and stuff like that. And so, this woman's talking about a $20 million lawsuit. That's what I'm saying. When you start selling these suits like this and that, like that, you open yourself up for a field day. And that's all I'm saying. That I don't personally believe that that he's done paying money, or that he's done facing lawsuits, I should say. I believe you're gonna have more people come out saying, "Oh, well, he did this, he did that," because that's the nature of this thing. Once somebody sees that you're gonna settle a lawsuit like that, and they got a chance to make 7 figures, they got a chance to make a life-altering money, generational type wealth off of a lawsuit, people come out the woodwork. And they're already seeing it. They already think that he's made of money right now. Oh, he had that $100 million contract with ESPN. Well, he's got that big he's got that big podcast and this and that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He played in the NFL for 15 years, and I mean all kind of stuff. People started adding things up in their heads and stuff like that. So yeah, I personally don't believe that this is over with in terms of what he may have to face in terms of people coming after him. Like I said, and I don't know how. I put it up in the Jumbotron. Well, I thought I put it up in the Jumbotron, but I'm gonna try to find that link and put it up in the Jumbotron with a woman is suing them for $20 million now. Now this is just now coming out. This is just now coming out after the ESPN thing where he got fired and the settlement and everything else. When did he settle with this woman? A week or two ago or whatever? A couple of weeks ago, he settled, and then ESPN fires him. Now you got somebody else talking about, well, I want $20 million because the stress and emotional heartache that I've been hit with and everything else like that. So, yeah. Go ahead, Aunt Lai.
Well, I'm sorry, Aunt Lai. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, and the judge can say this is a frivolous lawsuit, you have no claim, and dismiss it. So they can sue till the cows come home. And he may have opened himself up because he settled this one, but that's when you can file for a motion to dismiss. There is no basis. If they go to check her social media and see that she posting, oh yeah, and she posting about it saying the same things, and the attorney can easily say, okay, she don't have a case. So they may come after him. He may have himself a target, or people may feel like, oh, they see money bags, but he also can dismiss. Because you see what Diddy came to all these people with all these frivolous lawsuits, and a lot of them was dismissed. The judge was like, get out of here, get out of here, get out of here. It was all kind of allegations against Diddy. And the lawsuits was getting dismissed. So lawsuits against T.I. and his wife. How they did all these things with these women, $100 million lawsuits. All them lawsuits was dismissed against T.I. and Tiny. That didn't make the paper, because the fact that they were sued make the paper. But the judges said, y'all don't have no claim, get out of here. All the women and sex trafficking and T.I. dismissed. So I get what you're saying. People will come out of the woodworks, but that's when you have the money to pay attorneys and get dismissed. So yeah, they can try, but hey, dismissals happen for no cause, because T.I. had so many allegations of him and Tiny. Those cases are dismissed, and you ain't hear nothing else about it. So I do understand what you're saying.
And one more thing, let me just put a bee in everybody's bonnet to think on for a quick second. What's still going on that's not being talked about that Shannon's attached to? How about that lawsuit by ESPN that came out last year that got basically Joy, Emmanuel Acho, and Skip, Skip got them fired from ESPN or from wherever in the heck they were from due to sexual allegations. Now, Shannon's name was mentioned in that lawsuit, but he hadn't actually done anything. How would that look if all of these people who work for the rat sit here and get thrown in prison, out of prison? I got to pay big bucks, and this big black buck right here is just about to sign $100 million contract. That ain't gonna look too good. Perhaps this is actually just, a whole thing against him to either silence him or to throw mud on his name so that it's a distraction against what's still going on. I'm just saying. I'll land there.
I want to say that was when he was with Fox, wasn't it? Because that was FS1 or something like that. I believe he was, when he was with Skip and them, I think that was a Fox affiliate, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong.
Yeah, but it was a white Russian woman who sat there and brought the allegations to begin with. And the guy at ESPN, that main head guy, was some white guy who had been screwing around with Joy, and Joy had been telling her, hey, don't mess up the gravy train, and knew about her sleeping with Emmanuel Acho. And again, Shannon was mentioned, but he hadn't done anything as far as the woman's indictment was concerned. Do you understand what I'm saying? So again, this is meat to the sharks to get folks to look over here instead of looking over here. And in fact, that story has lost its legs and folks ain't talking about it or thinking about it anymore. But we are talking about Shannon.
Yeah,
that's
true. That is so true. I guess on that note, guys, we're going to go ahead and we're going to wrap this one up for the night. Pretty good discussion. Professor, DJ, if you guys want to say something real quick before we go ahead and shut it down, let me know.
Yeah, in about 2 hours, it's the boycott start. You know what I'm saying? Y'all should have been doing this 20 years ago, but, welcome to the club, fam. And, Cincinnati Brawl, you already know what time it is. Black Americans, defend yourself at all costs, always, all the times. I don't care what it is. We'll come bail you out. Call Allah. We'll come bail you out, yo. Call Allah.
So, Professor, you want to say something real quick? Professor might not be there. Yeah, I don't think Professor might not be in the space. He might be stuck in the matrix. So, on that note, guys, we'll go ahead and we'll shut it down for the night. We'll be back next week. And I do appreciate you guys coming in tonight. Good conversation as always. So everybody be safe. Have a good weekend. And we will see you next week. Peace.